It's time for Real Talk with Brian and Dan, the weekly talk radio show dedicated to discussing important real estate topics, plus insight into the local community. With a combined experience of over 50 years as local real estate brokers from the East Side Real Estate Team at Keller Williams Realty Bellevue. Here's your hosts, Brian Levitt and Dan Edwards.
Well, welcome to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 KKNW. It is a beautiful Wednesday in August. Am I right, Brian, or am I right?
Yes, it is. It's
oh, my goodness. It's fantastic. And I got to tell you, that song has been playing in my head since having my cup of coffee on the back deck, just relaxing, watching the dogs wrestle around. And I'm just like, hey, Eric, can you throw on this song? I love this song. So anyways, those of you listening on the podcast probably don't know what we're talking about because we have to take it out for rights purposes. But anyways, we just had YouTube's It's a Beautiful Day playing in the background. Thanks for listening. We're going to have a great show today. Today, we're excited to talk to two fantastic guests, Tracy Lynch with Simply Stage Design and Kelly Richardson from Rowley Properties. But of course, before we get to our guests, it's always time for some real talk.
Yes, it is.
Yes.
Last week, we answered some questions about down payments. Today, we're going to give you some insight into the housing market. Around this time of the month, we like to review last month's numbers in order to give listeners a bit of clarity on the market. So, Dan, what's happening?
Well, one thing to note is inventory is increasing. We're in what they call the dog days of summer, which is really my favorite month. August is my birthday month. It's usually sunny in Seattle, so inventory, of course, is creeping up there because there are less buyers out there. In July, total active listings in King County rose 11%. On the east side, inventory increased 12% year over year from July. It's not a huge increase, Brian. If you looked at the previous 2 years, we were at like 38 and 28%. So this is kind of back to what is normal.
Normal market, balanced market.
Yeah. And the good news is that means more choice for buyers.
That is good.
I love it.
So, in fact, the median home sales price in King County is showing the effects of the ability of buyers to choose. It dropped down 0.64% over the last year to $625,000. However, the median price on the east side saw an increase of 2.2% up to $849,950. More specifically, Kirkland saw an increase of 20% in home prices.
That's interesting.
Yeah, 20% Kirkland. Go Kirkland.
Yeah.
Bellevue, Redmond, and Seattle all had home prices decrease.
So it's one thing that Brian, I was at a national conference for Keller Williams last week, and
Gary was talking about that.
Yeah, Gary made it a point. Gary Keller made it a point of the one area that showed a decrease was Seattle. And the funny thing is you've been in the Seattle market for many, 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 many years. We tend to lag behind the nationwide numbers.
Right.
That's an outlier, right?
Yeah, it is. I think really it's an issue of the amazingly strong market that we've had.
Right.
I call it as market exuberance.
Yeah.
That really prices aren't coming down. They're getting a little more realistic.
Yeah, I had a conversation with somebody who they were sharing with me how they decided they didn't hire me, but they had hired somebody else, and they decided how to set their price. And they said, well, the house across the street sold for this, so we listed it at that. And the price the price number was like, I think around $800,000 was what the neighbors sold for, but they listed it for like $750,000.
Yeah.
So what happened is they then listed their home at $800,000, which was the finished price of the bidding war.
Right.
So that's kind of where you're seeing that market exuberance effect is sellers are now having to come to terms with a slowdown of the appreciation.
Right.
So
what's happening with King County home sales?
King County. So the pending sales across King County rose 8.51%, and pending sales on the east side 8.86%. Despite that increase of inventory, we're still seeing an increase of homes going into contract, and that's just the sign of a healthy market.
Wow. Also, the absorption ratio rose to 1.75 in King County and 1.88 on the east side. A balanced market is 4 to 5 months of inventory. Even though buyers have choice, good homes priced well sell quickly. We're going to talk to Tracy about that a little bit, about how we help these homes sell quickly. Conversely, homes that are overpriced may stay on the market longer. One of the things you mentioned in your last one on that pricing scenario, I often tell my sellers you have a choice between pricing to move downward or pricing to move upward.
Right.
Almost everybody says, well, we'd rather price to move up. Great, then price the home competitively and expect bids on it.
Right, and I think there's a thing out there is if you remember back in 2010, selling a home, you had to be compelling.
Right.
When you came on the market, you had to outshine the competition. That really hasn't changed, but what changed is there was 7-8 people lined up to buy a home in Bellevue in a specific neighborhood. Well, still the most compelling homes, and by compelling I mean looking great,
Right.
feeling great, no deferred maintenance, all of that kind of stuff. We're, as our listeners know, we do pre-inspections on our homes. We want to make sure that we approach a home with the ability to provide our clients, our sellers, with all the information they need to be compelling, to remove contingencies, to have the ability for buyers to show up and be excited about their home over all the other competition in the area.
Right.
So with this market, what's it mean for buyers?
Means for buyers is rates are great. It's a great time to buy. Mortgage rates have fallen by over a full percentage point since the fourth quarter of 2018, settling at a near historic low. The big news for buyers looking to get more for their money in the current housing market, however, is competition is coming
Competition for
the best homes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that is true, because I know that we had, a home in Seattle we talked about last week that we had to be very competitive. And even though we're seeing all this inventory increase and it's the dog days of summer, buyers still need to be prepared to be in a situation to be competitive.
So don't be surprised if you have to compete for a good home. We're seeing some ability for move-up buyers to use contingencies. I just closed a contingency when everybody told me that'll never happen. We were able to help the buyer find their new home before they sold their existing home, thereby not having to worry about where they're going to end up.
Yeah, it's kind of nice to have that flexibility now as a buyer where you don't have to feel like you're going to be homeless, right? Because sometimes you got a chicken or the egg. Do you sell first? Do you buy first? Yeah.
So one of my things I'm proud of is I've never left a family on the curb.
That's good.
36 years so far, so good.
What about when you drop them off after showings?
No. I mean, having their home sold and not having the place to go.
Yeah.
I'm not going to start now either. So, but contingencies are something that we're seeing in this market, which is a good thing for buyers.
So how do you feel about this market?
I'm excited. I think, right now, Dan and I are just, really, okay, I use the term killing it. We're helping a lot of clients get homes they're very, very happy with.
Yeah.
So it's a fabulous market. I think we're going to end this year up one of our strongest ever.
Yeah.
And not all of our competitors are saying that. And partially moving to a more balanced market, it's harder to sell a home, a little more skill set and systems in place than a lot of our competitors have.
I think attitude has a lot to do with it. I think that, honestly, you can say, well, geez, the market really sure has changed. Well, of course it has.
It always does.
It always will. So awesome. Great conversation. Well, that concludes our Real Talk segment for today. But up next, we're going to be speaking with our lender, with WA First Mortgage, Wes, our senior loan originator. So please join us right after this short commercial break.
We'll be right back.
Not sure if now is the right time to sell? Worried you missed the market? The Eastside Real Estate Team specializes in helping homeowners maximize their equity when selling. With our proven premier listing service, our clients have sold their homes for more money in less time than the competition. We know you have many choices when working with a real estate agent, but with the Eastside Real Estate Team, you get a team of highly qualified, experienced agents. From staging to deciding if your property is market ready for top dollar. If you're considering selling, call the Eastside Real Estate Team at 425-200-4093. Or check out our website at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Did you know that on average, staged homes sell 70% faster than non-staged homes? At Simply Staged, they help you escalate your goal of selling your home fast. Whether you are looking for a refresh of your current home or trying to prepare for selling, Simply Staged has you covered. They won the Best of House 2019 award. Their work won in the customer service category, as their portfolio includes some of the most consistent reviews on House in 2018. At Simply Staged, they go above and beyond to ensure they listen and prepare your home to appeal to a broad audience. If you are thinking of preparing your home for sale or just want some fresh decorating ideas, contact Tracy at Simply Staged at 425-442-0339 and visit their website at simplystaged.design.
Create time for what matters most by locating your business in Issaquah. The 2005 Northwest Poplar office building is designed with that very purpose in mind. Rowley Properties is pleased to announce this new office building is under construction. Located at the gateway to Issaquah, just off I-90, exit 15 with I-90 visibility. It is designed to be iconic with its sustainable cross-laminated timber and illuminated glass staircase, promoting a healthy work environment. It's adjacent to Tibbetts Creek Greenway. The setting and design inspires productivity and innovation, a place to let your nature begin. Conveniently located near all the amenities today's workforce desires, like dog daycare, childcare, multiple fitness options, meeting rooms, hotels, restaurants, a brewery, recreation, and more. Tenants will have an incredible forested mountain backdrop and access to parks and hiking trails out the back door. It's within walking distance to the Issaquah Transit Center. The approximately 70,000 square foot four-story building will be owned and managed by Rowley Properties Incorporated.
Be sure to support the sponsors of your favorite shows on Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back to the show. You're listening to Real Talk with Brian and Dan.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Dan. It's now time for our Mortgage Moment segment. During the segment, we get a quick update on the lending side of our home buying process. Today, we're talking with Wes Graham with Washington First Mortgage. Wes is a senior loan originator and has been serving borrowers at a very high level for 21 years now. Welcome to the show, Wes.
Hey, guys. How are you?
Hey, we're good.
Great.
So tell us about rates. What's happening?
Well, rates continue to trend down, which is fantastic
Nice.
for all of us. You know, while we have great equity positions in our homes right now, obviously we're seeing a lot of flow as far as refinancing is concerned. It has backed up a majority of the lending banks that are out there right now.
Yeah.
I'd say we're in anywhere from a 20 to a 40-day closing type scenario for any refinance that is happening. Also, rates are still under 4% when it comes to a 30-year fixed mortgage. I would say rates are ranging anywhere from 3.625 to 3.875, depending on where your current credit scores are and the equity in your home.
How low can it go?
You know, that's such a great question, right?
Right.
If I knew that, I'd be a millionaire. And I will say this, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, the great prognosticators that they are, have come out and basically said that we're going to see a really bullish interest rate market for over the next 12 months here. And that's going to do wonders for all of us that are looking to lower our monthly payments or really for just the affordability of our homes, guys. Like, you know, like if you look at a regular $500,000 mortgage, you know, if you came to me 6 months ago, your payment would literally be $380 higher than it currently is now. So we're seeing a ton of affordability, which is keeping a lot of people in the market.
That's good news for first-time home buyers, right? Because it is
really
a trickle down. Yeah.
You know, and I'm glad you talked about first-time home buyers, because with first-time home buyers, you know, the misnomer out there is that you need 20% down, right?
Yep.
And, you know, our first-time home buyer programs range anywhere from 1% down to 3% down. And if you don't have that good a credit, you can actually go to 3.5% down with FHA, which basically, if your credit's not that good and you're really looking at holding off, you might actually want to have a loan officer look at your scenario and look at your credit, because again, FHA's minimum credit requirements are 580. And conventional lending requirements are 620.
Wow.
So FHA, even though it's required another 0.5% down to 3.5%, they really are looking to try to get mortgages done with the minimum 580 credit score.
Expanded scores. That's great. That's great.
So when I think about that, and you said something, Wes, that I think is very important, is just find out, right? I don't know what's keeping people from not finding out, but you just look and see if you qualify. Talk to a mortgage professional like Wes and just have them run your numbers. It's not going to kill you. It's great.
It's not going to kill you. And, you know, people think they miss a credit card payment 12 months ago. They think it's immediately brought them out of qualifying for a home. And that's not the case at all.
That's great. Yeah. Hey, Wes, thank you.
I did want to bring up one other point, guys. What I am seeing across the board right now is people with excellent credit that have 20% down on their new home purchases or refinancing. what we are seeing is a new program called appraisal waiver.
Okay.
And what that means basically is you can basically get into a refinance or a purchase with no appraisal as long as the property qualifies for it. And I would say, I don't know, I'd call it 30% of the properties qualifying for that actual waiver right now.
And that saves them
and
money,
in fact,
right?
Me and Brian have a couple transactions right now that are actually qualify for the waiver. So it makes it a lot easier on us, and it makes it a lot easier on our client because they do wind up saving $800 on an appraisal, and they also take care of the variable of finding something bad on that home. If there is something that will typically be looked at by an appraiser, if you have an appraisal waiver, no one's looking at that property. And so it really gets rid of a lot of variables when it comes to home inspection.
That's great.
Awesome.
Wes, how do our listeners reach you?
You can reach me directly. I am down in Kirkland on the waterfront, and my phone number directly is 425-268-0116. This is my 21st year in the industry, and I'd love to be able to talk to you. Just like Dan said, you don't know until you speak with a loan officer. So do not hesitate to reach out to the loan officer that you know and find out if you do in fact qualify.
Awesome.
That's great. Hey, thank you, Wes. We appreciate that. After the break, we'll be talking with Tracy Lynch with Simply Staged Design, who will discuss utilizing staging to make your home appeal to a large audience. We'll be right back.
Did you know when you pay rent, you're actually paying someone else's mortgage? Are you tired of missing out on owning your own home? Fact: homeowners on average have 40 times the financial net worth of renters. The Eastside Real Estate Team has been helping many first-time home buyers find and buy their first home. They specialize in customer service and put you first. They listen first to what you're looking for, and then they take the time to make sure their clients understand every aspect of the home buying process. If owning a home has been your dream, the Eastside Real Estate Team can help you. For a free, no-hassle consultation, call 425-200-4093 or find them online at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Are you ready to select a residential contractor for your remodel project or custom construction? Have you been presented with a contract to review and sign? Well, before you go any further and before you sign anything, contact Douglas Schwed at Access Law NW for an expert contract review and a contractor due diligence investigation. We highly recommend that before you sign any major home improvement, remodel, or custom construction contract, that you consult with a qualified real estate contract attorney. Mr. Schwed has developed a proprietary 10-step builder due diligence investigation algorithm, which fully and completely documents any contractor's operating and legal compliance history, including litigation checks, including civil and criminal background, bankruptcy filings, licensing compliance, insurance and bonding compliance, and other relevant business details. From that investigation, a written report is provided highlighting all areas of concern so the client can make a fully informed, unemotional business decision before the sign and before performance problems and disputes arise. Go to accesslawnw.com to contact us or to get more information. That's accesslawnw.com.
Are your dog's behaviors not quite what you'd like them to be? You're not alone. DogSmart is committed to helping families just like yours learn ways to communicate with your dog so that both ends of the leash are working as one. They've helped countless families on Seattle's East Side and beyond. Don't waste another moment. Reach out today. To learn more about how DogSmart can help or to schedule a time to meet, visit their website at dogsmartseattle.com or call 1-833-DOGSMART today.
No other station delivers this much variety. Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back. You're listening to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 KKNW.
I'm Brian.
And I'm Dan. Our first guest today is Tracy Lynch with Simply Staged Design. Tracy's a native of Washington with a passion for decorating and making houses homey. That's awesome, homie. She spent her career in technology, but then decided to follow her heart and passion in home decorating and staging. She loves to transform a home and enable a potential buyer to see the new options on how to utilize a space. Welcome to the show, Tracy.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, we're
So
glad you're here.
we often, we're going to jump in and talk about your business, but what are your hobbies and interests when you're not staging?
Well, I, along with my husband, we're pretty active. We love to play tennis, as my knees will attest. I probably play a little too much. Like to hike, and just recently we bought an RV and have decided to,
Awesome.
when business is slow, to take a few trips.
Awesome. Have you been anywhere fun lately?
We went down to Colorado and back, and in a few weeks, maybe the end of the next month, we'll go over to Glacier National Park.
Oh,
I'm
beautiful.
going there.
Are you?
Yeah. The week of the 8th.
Oh,
Yeah.
such an awesome place.
Yeah, I'm very excited. We don't have any concrete plans, but I'd love to sleep in your RV. Is that okay?
No problem, as long as you pay for the hotel.
Is it bear proof?
Bear-proof. Yeah,
It
right.
should be.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's great. So we like to ask each guest to share a fond memory about the home you grew up in.
Oh, all right. Well, I grew up in the quintessential split level
Oh, yeah.
in Bellevue. And so there were, let's see, green shade carpet.
Nice.
Yeah, Mom
I
had
hear it's coming
plastic on the
back.
couch. Yeah.
Plastic on the couch.
We weren't allowed in the formal
Oh, that's
living room.
funny.
But yeah, I mean, it was, probably not the top house favorite for home buyers necessarily. However, it suited our, 4-kid family really well.
What part of Bellevue?
Over right by Sammamish High School,
Okay.
over by
Oh,
100 and what is it, 40th?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it's kind of tucked away. It's a development that's been there for obviously a long time. But, now, of course, the homes are all being renovated and
Yeah.
added on to, et cetera. So,
Yeah. Can you believe the value that home you grew up in is at?
Yeah, well, I'll tell you who's shocked is my father.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He keeps talking about the $28,000 that he spent for our split level. And
Right.
now
Does he
they-
still live there?
No.
Oh, okay.
But, he every once in a while I'll snap a picture of it and send it to him, and he'll just be like, okay, well, it doesn't look any different. I'm like, yeah, but it's $900,000.
Right.
Or something like that.
Amazing. That's what I love about real estate is you see the incredible amount of wealth that can happen in a
Yeah.
generation owning a home.
Absolutely.
So how did you get started in the staging industry?
So my first career was in technology sales, and I was, it was great. It's a nice income. I enjoyed it. And along the way, and I guess I should say along the side, I was helping friends decorate. I was remodeling. I bought and sold, and not necessarily flipped, but remodeled homes, probably 10 homes in my life. So I really enjoy it because not everybody likes that process. And then a few years back, we redid our kitchen, and my husband said, you really should start a business because we can't just keep redoing all the rooms in our house. So I kind of took that as a jumping off point, and I just went ahead and took some classes and started a business, and I've thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a great choice.
Awesome.
I think you partially answered the question I have is about how you got started. What classes did you take?
I just took a few design and sort of spatial type design and color classes. But I think when you have a passion and a love for what you do and it just makes you happy,
Yeah.
that's 90% of it almost. I'm not doing open heart surgery.
Living the
so
life you
we're good.
love.
Yeah, right.
Well, and I think the staging business is one that by the public it probably doesn't understand.
Yeah.
And I know I say that sounding a little arrogant, but it's subtlety. It's you come in, you clean up, and it looks like, well, I don't know, it feels good, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the idea, right? And most people, I don't think, recognize that it takes education and then a natural ability, in my opinion, which I have none.
Yeah. I think it does help to have a little bit of an eye.
Yeah.
And I think what people probably don't understand is that nationally, the statistic is that staged homes sell 70% faster.
Right. And
Now
for
maybe
more
some,
money.
yeah, exactly. And I think people in our area think, oh, well, my house is going to sell fast. Well, it's if your house and the guy next door is selling that, and you've
Right.
got things that are nice but not necessarily current, and there's a lot of clutter or this and that, it does make a huge difference.
So, I'll throw you a bit of a curveball here, but what's the difference between staging and decorating?
I think for most people, staging is like they're props. I'll just call it that way. And from a decorating perspective, I think that's to me is the finishing touches, right? It's the making sure your bookcases are neat and staged properly with a few knickknacks, but not too many. And so, decorating your home is great, but I think when you stage, it has to stay that way.
That's true. Yep.
Brian and I know we get this from all of our stagers. Don't move the stager stuff. I know. It's staged. It's like a theater, right?
Yeah.
It's designed to tell a story that's in the stager's eyes. And they get very upset if you move their pillows, okay? I'm just saying, don't do it.
Oh, funny.
Spoken from somebody who accidentally moved it during an open house and got chewed out. So anyways.
There you go.
Background before staging?
Well, I graduated from college with a Parks and Rec degree. Very useful in staging. But I think that kind of lends itself to being creative and maybe a little bit more of the non-traditional, which I think that it's not, you can't go into a house and do a stage based on what you like necessarily, right?
Gotcha.
It's got to be the theme of the home, the area, just a lot of factors. So my background was, not traditional in that sense. And then, I sort of flipped the switch after I semi-retired, and now I'm doing what I really love to do.
Awesome. What do you love the most about the business?
Well, I think I really love that whole before and after thing. It just really just gets me going. I mean, I did a house recently, and the people, I think they were skeptical. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, well, just, come back tomorrow. And, and then they came back and they were just, I think, kind of wowed, and that's a good feeling when people like what you do.
Yeah.
It might not even be their taste, but
Right.
it's like, but this is going to get your house noticed.
Well, and Tracy, you did a stage for us, and the sellers were a little like, I don't know. They were like that.
Yeah.
But during the open house, they had some neighbors come by that they knew, and their neighbors gave them feedback. They're like, oh my gosh, it looked great. The staging was great.
Yeah.
Right? So it's oftentimes, that's why I said, sometimes the owners, they don't know what's going on.
Right.
And it's not because they're naive. It's because the process of staging is like theater. It's
Right.
telling a different story.
Yeah, no, exactly. And it has to be, it sounds like everybody says this, but it does have to appeal to a broad audience.
Yeah.
So
Tell us one of your best staging stories.
it was actually my very first stage. It was for a house out in Union Hill, and it was probably, they'd lived there for 40 years.
Wow.
Built the house, wasn't updated, which is sometimes challenging. And they were very nervous, anxious about, first of all, moving,
Yep.
and it just was
First-time
it was
home sellers.
very much so, very emotional. And, it took me probably 3 times as long to do that job because they were there a lot,
great.
and we sat and chatted and had a cup of coffee and then, but at the end of it, they were so happy and, of course, relieved to be out from under the burden of a big house. Kids are gone and all that. So that was a nice, it was kind of a part therapy, part staging.
So why are you so passionate about it?
I have no idea. I just really have always enjoyed it. Like when I'm at my, I guess, happiest is when I'm kind of, I'm switching some lamps out. I need to change some bedding, even if it's in my own home.
You're doing your thing.
I totally am. And
That's great.
my family calls and says, hey, can you help me over here? I'm like, sure, of course. I should charge them, but I don't.
Bottle of wine or something.
Yeah.
So what differentiates your staging business?
I just think I take the extra time. I think anybody can, slap in a few pieces of furniture, but I really do like to take the time to, make it a little bit better. So, for example, I worked with a realtor recently where she and I were literally painting the fireplace together. It was an older home, and we just got in there and, changing light bulbs, patching holes, and, I don't mind doing that. I really don't.
Okay. So what is the biggest misconception about the staging profession?
Well, first of all, it seems like a lot of people leave it to the very last, which is not the good thing because stagers are busy.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks is good. And then I think a lot of people think they shouldn't have to stage, that their stuff's good enough. And sometimes you just need a fresh look for your house.
How do you decide what to use in a stage?
I really look at the house itself, mid-century, modern, neighborhood? Is it mostly families? And so I really try to, make that sort of number one. And then number two is I like to follow the trends, not be the trendiest, but just make sure that it's relevant.
Yeah,
That's what I try to
it's
do.
kind of going along the lines of current staging
Right.
looks,
Exactly.
which I can't keep track of. What's the criteria between, say, a partial stage and a full stage?
Well, a full stage is usually the preference of most stagers, which is the house is empty.
Yep.
Nobody's living there because, again, this is props. People
Right.
aren't supposed to use the stuff. But I've done many partials. I think a lot of stagers won't do them because there's a more of a risk and
Yeah.
stuff. But I did one recently where the gal she wanted the bedding in her master room replaced, and so I said, look, no problem, we'll just buy it and you can buy it from us, and that way there's no, she doesn't have to take the bedding off at night to use
Right.
it. So that really is good. So it's really partial, using some of the homeowners' goods, so to speak, and then bringing in to augment.
Awesome. So, how can people get in contact with you?
So simplystage.design is my website, and my phone number is 425-442-0339.
Awesome.
Tracy, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
After the break, we have in studio Kelly Richardson with Rowley Properties. We'll be discussing Issaquah's quality of life. Stay tuned after the break for more.
Not sure if now is the right time to sell? Worried you missed the market? The Eastside Real Estate Team specializes in helping homeowners maximize their equity when selling. With our proven premier listing service, our clients have sold their homes for more money in less time than the competition. We know you have many choices when working with a real estate agent, but with the Eastside Real Estate Team, you get a team of highly qualified, experienced agents. From staging to deciding if your property is market ready for top dollar. If you're considering selling, call the Eastside Real Estate Team at 425-200-4093. Or check out our website at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Create time for what matters most by locating your business in Issaquah. The 2005 Northwest Poplar office building is designed with that very purpose in mind. Rowley Properties is pleased to announce this new office building is under construction. Located at the gateway to Issaquah, just off I-90, exit 15 with I-90 visibility. It is designed to be iconic with its sustainable cross-laminated timber and illuminated glass staircase, promoting a healthy work environment. It's adjacent to Tibbetts Creek Greenway. The setting and design inspires productivity and innovation, a place to let your nature begin. Conveniently located near all the amenities today's workforce desires, like dog daycare, child care, multiple fitness options, meeting rooms, hotels, restaurants, a brewery, recreation, and more. Tenants will have an incredible forested mountain backdrop and access to parks and hiking trails out the back door. It's within walking distance to the Issaquah Transit Center. The approximately 70,000 square foot 4-story building will be owned and managed by Rowley Properties Incorporated.
Did you know that on average, staged homes sell 70% faster than non-staged homes? At Simply Staged, they help you escalate your goal of selling your home fast. Whether you are looking for a refresh of your current home or trying to prepare for selling, Simply Staged has you covered. They won the Best of House 2019 award. Their work won in the customer service category, as their portfolio includes some of the most consistent reviews on House in 2018. At Simply Staged, they go above and beyond to ensure they listen and prepare your home to appeal to a broad audience. If you are thinking of preparing your home for sale or just want some fresh decorating ideas, contact Tracy at Simply Staged at 425-442-0339 and visit their website at simplystaged.design.
Bringing good vibes to the Puget Sound and the world. Alternative Talk 1150.
Welcome back to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 KKNW. I'm Brian.
And I'm Dan.
Our next guest is Kelly Richardson with Rowley Properties. And I am delighted to have you here today, Kelly. I was a tenant for many, many years, and I viewed Raleigh Properties as a partner in my business. Never have had such a great relationship in my business. So delighted you're here. Kelly is the designated broker of Raleigh Properties in Issaquah. She is the third generation of the Raleigh family business that has been in Issaquah since 1954. A native of the Issaquah area, Kelly grew up learning about real estate and land development and gained an early appreciation of the value of commercial real estate. She has a Bachelor of Science degree in Business Management from Drake University with an emphasis in real estate law. She is also a CCIM designation, which is a Certified Commercial Investment Member. And I got to say, that is a big deal. That's one hard designation to get.
Yikes.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thank you.
It's equivalent of having an MBA in commercial real estate. So,
Correct.
yeah, delighted to have you here. So please tell us about the non-working Kelly. What do you do for fun?
Oh, okay, absolutely. So I love being outside in the garden, and I love going and hitting Issaquah's trails. I might tell you a little bit about this too. I also know a lot about salmon. I never thought I would, but that's just because I love being part of this community.
Yeah, salmon is a big part of
Big deal.
Issaquah because the Issaquah River has spawning every year.
Correct.
Every year. Salmon days.
So,
Oh, yeah.
go
It's
ahead.
me.
Your turn.
Yeah, so since this, I mean, you have a legacy of real estate, right? But this is a show about living in homes and real estate. So can you share with us a fond memory about the home you grew up in?
Absolutely. So a home that I grew up in is on Squawk Mountain, and my family built the home. I remember all the kids coming and congregating on the street and just having so many friends. My sister and I actually started doing some rock painting when I was about 4 years old. And the fire department came by, and they bought some of our rocks for like 5 cents, and it was amazing.
great.
So it's fabulous.
Started your own first pet rock business for the firefighters.
Yes.
So tell us about Raleigh Properties.
Okay. Raleigh Properties is a third-generation family-owned property management and development firm. We offer office space, apartments, hospitality, including our Hilton Garden Inn and Homewood Suites, and we have storage space and more. Our mission is to help businesses succeed, families belong, and communities prosper.
That's awesome. So were Raleigh Properties, where are they situated in the Issaquah community?
Okay. Well, most of our properties are located, of course, in Issaquah, where we've been an active member since 1954. Our Hyla Crossing and Rowley Center neighborhoods are largely fronting right on I-90, just off exit 15 SR 900. We have roughly 78 contiguous acres there, and that's near Issaquah's Park and Ride, and it's Issaquah's business core. So our buildings serve the many needs of the community and its visitors. It's definitely a happening place. We have family-centric services, corporate headquarters, local startups, and entrepreneurs. There's lots of innovation and creativity going on in Issaquah.
What are some of, as you go back over the years, what are some of the bigger names that have come out of the properties there maybe and moved on to bigger and better things?
Well, we have lots of Costco.
There you go.
You know, that's been an amazing evolution. We have had folks like Lakeside Center for Autism. They started up as a startup, and they now serve Microsoft community throughout the entire world.
Yeah, that's really important.
So they've done some amazing things. We have a robotics company right now that is working on advancing robotics and how that can help businesses. We have doggy daycares where if you can drop your dog off and they can go out and take a nature walk while you're at work. So and more.
And more. Tons and tons of businesses incubated out of the Raleigh properties.
We did.
Yeah.
So share what your newest project is. I think you mentioned office building and a brewery.
Yes, we're very excited.
Can't wait.
Our newest project is the 2005 Northwest Poplar mixed-use office building. It will be located at the gateway to Issaquah, just off I-90, exit 15, next to Issaquah Fitness Arena Sports. This new building is designed to be iconic, to capture our community's spirit, and make a positive statement we can all be proud of. Unique features of the building include a glass-enclosed stairwell, which creates a lantern effect, visible from I-90, and it also promotes a healthy work environment with elements of sociability.
A great first impression for Issaquah.
Exactly.
Nice.
We definitely want to make that statement. And then the building's going to be built sustainably, featuring cross-laminated timber, and that reduces our carbon footprint and echoes the natural environment. Adjacent to Tibbetts Creek, the setting and design inspire productivity and innovation. We've got neighborhood amenities such as restaurants, multiple fitness options, childcare, doggy daycare, meeting rooms, a new brewery coming along, which I'll tell you in just a minute, recreation. Tenants are going to have breathtaking views of Issaquah Alps and access to parks and hiking out their back door. So this is only 3 blocks from the Issaquah Transit Center, and it's about a 70,000 square foot 4-story office building projected to be completed summer of 2020.
So I've got a question. Will the access be through, I can't even remember the road, but that frontage road, or will there be multiple areas of access to that building?
There are several areas of access to the building.
Okay.
Yes. So we're also excited to announce one of our newest additions to the neighborhood, which is Formula Brewing. They're going to be featuring specialty crafted beers local to Issaquah. It's going to be located next door to our new building, and it serves as a community gathering place. It's going to be a production brewery, have a tasting room, and will serve food. And so you'll see that open. They'll be open for sales towards the end of the year. And then phase 2, we're going to have an outdoor beer garden visible from I-90 with a live music stage.
Oh my gosh, it's right next to my CrossFit gym. Get a good workout in, and then just wreck
blow it next door. There you go.
next door. I'm very excited. That's cool.
Yes.
You know what's interesting is I know that there's been a talk about a brewery in various sites in Issaquah, and I think that's a really good spot. Only because A, the visibility, and B, it kind of lends itself to more of a community space.
Right.
That's not being used right now.
Exactly. And we really want to bring those unique experiences to the community.
Especially the mule place next door, which I don't even know what that is, but they've got really cool stuff to put on your truck. I mean, they've got this big truck out back, and I think it's a couple of, spring-free trampoline, right? So you've got 3 really very unique, interesting, I would say, talking point businesses right there, right as you get off I-90, and that's really cool to bring that to our community.
Thank you. We're happy to have them.
So as we talk about business, why do you believe that economic vitality is important, and what is it that brings to the community?
Well, a healthy community is one that has diversity of businesses, which helps ensure a sound economy. These businesses provide services, restaurants, and goods in proximity without having to spend more time in the car. Businesses provide jobs, and when someone lives, works, and visits a community, they spend their money there. Incoming business dollars lessens the tax burden on residents, and that's something we can all appreciate.
Right.
So businesses help provide for the needed resources such as education, police services, fire services, parks, the arts, and more. Jobs also create a sense of belonging. And when you innovate in your job and you're creative, you get that sense of pride.
Right.
And that echoes throughout our community.
Yeah.
So jobs are really important. And, why would an individual or business want to be in Issaquah? Well, I live and work in Issaquah, and maybe I'm biased, but many others agree with how special Issaquah is. Issaquah is consistently rated as one of the top places to live, work, and play. Sunset Magazine voted Issaquah as the #1 burb. Outdoor Magazine has rated Issaquah in the top places to live. And in 2019, Issaquah was named Best City by 425 Magazine.
So, Kelly, you're such a long-time resident of Issaquah. What do you consider some of Issaquah's treasures?
Well, naturally, when people hear about Issaquah, they think Salmon Days. Salmon Days draws over 150,000 people to our community each year.
Wow.
People travel from all over the world to visit Issaquah. We have the Cougar Mountain Zoo, Bohms, and much more. The Issaquah Creek, the Issaquah Hatchery, and even the Issaquah Alps have been voted by the City Council as the top treasures in Issaquah. There's such a rich history, And a large part of that is due to the number of businesses that have existed here for decades who help create our active community. You know, one of the nice things about being able to live and work in the community is you can spend more time on things that matter, right? Not on the commute. I mean, what can you do if you can get back 2 hours in a day, right?
Yep, right.
What can you spend that on? Your kids, cooking a home-cooked meal? I mean,
When is Salmon Days this year?
Salmon Days is October. I believe it's the 5th and 6th. It's going to be the first weekend in October.
First weekend in October.
Yes, and the theme this year is In Your Wildest Streams.
Okay.
We are
great.
celebrating the 50th anniversary of Salmon Days this year, so it's a
fantastic.
big deal.
Should be a big deal. All right. So that leads me to the Issaquah Fish Hatchery and Fish, Friends of the Issaquah Salmon Hatchery Organization. We hear you have long since been an educational docent and are currently chair of the board. Can you tell us more about it?
Yes. So the Issaquah Hatchery is the most visited hatchery in the state, and it's part of, actually, fish. We're part of the third grade curriculum. With over 250,000 visitors a year, it's the only urban location in Washington where visitors can get nose-to-nose with the salmon that has returned home to spawn. So we provide a unique laboratory for visitors to learn up close and personal about salmon and environmental education. Our fish docents instill a sense of wonder about the miracle that takes place in Issaquah and our region. It is truly amazing that the salmon come home after traveling 3,000 miles away, going to Alaska
Yeah.
and back. They'll actually come within 10 feet of where they were born.
Oh, wow.
That's amazing.
They are an amazing creature. So Fish provides tours of the hatchery, salmon education for visitors, and many school children. We have about 185 different schools that participate in our programs, as well as tours for adults all over the world. They want to come and see the salmon return home to spawn. And we're almost at salmon season, and it becomes about Disney. It's Disneyland in Issaquah. So I've been involved in fish since 2010. I love seeing the kids and adults experience the excitement when they see the fish jumping in the creek, and I love helping the organization thrive and grow. When you give back to the community, you uplift the people in it, and this is easier when you work and live in a community. So I'm really thankful I don't have to commute, and that allows me to enhance not only my life, but others.
Wow, that's great. So you and I were chatting the other day about the hatchery, and you mentioned some of the pressures on the fish. Can you elaborate?
Correct.
A little
Yes.
bit about that?
Well, we've all seen the highlights out there in the news about the pressures of the fish and how that affects the orcas. And it's amazing. The fish that go out from Issaquah Creek, only about 10% of them will actually make it to Elliott Bay. And there's a reason why. There's been studies by King County and the Muckleshoots that there is a large amount of non-native fish that are eating our salmon. And those non-native fish have been allowed to continue to reproduce and get bigger and bigger and bigger. And so...
What kind of fish are these?
Well...
I'll go have a talk with them.
Well,
We're talking about trout and bass?
We're talking about bass, pike minnows, and some others. But just in those particular lakes, we really need to be careful and watch and help our salmon, because we want to have them keep coming home.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
definitely.
Kelly, how do our listeners get in contact with you?
Okay, so they can call me. My phone number is 425-395-9577. And again, 425-395-9577. Or email me at Kelly, KELLYR, at Rowley, ROWLEY, properties.com. And I'd love to hear from folks.
Kelly, thank you so much for coming in today.
Thank you, folks, for having me. I really appreciate it. It was
This
a
is fun.
pleasure.
It's been a lot of fun. You're listening to Real Talk with Brian and Dan on 1150 KKNW. After the break, we have some more Real Talk and, of course, some great final thoughts. We'll be right back.
Did you know when you pay rent, you're actually paying someone else's mortgage? Are you tired of missing out on owning your own home? Fact. Homeowners on average have 40 times the financial net worth of renters. The Eastside Real Estate Team has been helping many first-time homebuyers find and buy their first home. They specialize in customer service and put you first. They listen first to what you're looking for, and then they take the time to make sure their clients understand every aspect of the home buying process. If owning a home has been your dream, the Eastside Real Estate Team can help you. For a free, no-hassle consultation, call 425-200-4093 or find them online at the eastsiderealestateteam.com, a subsidiary of Keller Williams Realty in Bellevue.
Create time for what matters most by locating your business in Issaquah. The 2005 Northwest Poplar office building is designed with that very purpose in mind. Rowley Properties is pleased to announce this new office building is under construction. Located at the gateway to Issaquah, just off I-90, exit 15 with I-90 visibility. It is designed to be iconic with its sustainable cross-laminated timber and illuminated glass staircase, promoting a healthy work environment. It's adjacent to Tibbetts Creek Greenway. The setting and design inspires productivity and innovation, a place to let your nature begin. Conveniently located near all the amenities today's workforce desires, like dog daycare, childcare, multiple fitness options, meeting rooms, hotels, restaurants, a brewery, recreation, and more. Tenants will have an incredible forested mountain backdrop and access to parks and hiking trails out the back door. It's within walking distance to the Issaquah Transit Center. The approximately 70,000 square foot 4-story building will be owned and managed by Rowley Properties Incorporated.
Did you know that on average, staged homes sell 70% faster than non-staged homes? At Simply Staged, they help you escalate your goal of selling your home fast. Whether you are looking for a refresh of your current home or trying to prepare for selling, Simply Staged has you covered. They won the Best of House 2019 award. Their work won in the customer service category, as their portfolio includes some of the most consistent reviews on House in 2018. At Simply Staged, they go above and beyond to ensure they listen and prepare your home to appeal to a broad audience. If you are thinking of preparing your home for sale or just want some fresh decorating ideas, contact Tracy at Simply Staged at 425-442-0339 and visit their website at simplystaged.design.
Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/1150KKNW.
Well, hello. Welcome back to Real Talk on 1150 KKNW. I'm Dan.
I'm Brian.
So let's get right back to our final thoughts of the day, Brian. This time of year, I don't know if you knew this, but there's a lot of sad parents out there.
There are.
Yeah, have you noticed that? Little empty nesters?
Little tears as they drive away.
Yeah, so, the ones sending the kids off to kindergarten, those moms are a wreck. But I've been now in a group of guys, and we're sending our sons off to college and daughters off to college. And
you got a big adventure
after the show, I'm
up.
flying to Philadelphia to take my daughter to school, and it's one of those things that it's been an honor to be given this position to help raise a child, and then to take him to this spot in life. I'm so excited about the adventure. So I'm not going to talk much more about it because I might start crying, and I'm not going to do that. I'll do that later when I'm by myself.
It's funny. You triggered a thought. I'll change my final thought here.
Okay.
One of the things that we recommend people consider is investment property as part of their portfolio.
Oh, yeah.
Something that my wife and I did that's one of the best moves ever is when our kids went to school. We gave them a year in the dorm. Then we bought homes near the campus.
Yep.
Some of the best investments ever, because these homes, a lot of the students want to get off campus. So we look for a good house, typically a 4-bedroom, at least 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, walking distance to the college or university. Yeah, you get top rents, and mom and dad cosigns. You always get paid.
Always get paid. That's a really smart plan.
And there's, it's great for us because we were able to house our student very affordably. And then retain the home as an investment.
And they're going to have roommates, and that's going to subsidize what you have to pay for room and board.
Yeah, it makes it an income producer it's an asset instead of a liability. And I've got lines on some homes near universities. Give me a call.
Yeah, that is somewhat a plug for Keller Williams because we have agents across the United States.
Right.
So if your kids are going to Indiana, New York, we can help with that investment opportunity. That's kind of funny. So coming up, we have, is it Bumper Shoot weekend? Is that this weekend?
I think it is.
Yes.
Labor Day weekend.
So
Bingo.
don't go down and catch some great music in downtown Seattle. But also, too, there's the annual Sunflower Festival up in Snohomish. So if you don't want to head into the city for bumper shoot, you can head out to the country in Snohomish. So come wander the beautiful sunflower fields and eat amazing food while enjoying peaceful countryside. There's going to be food vendors, country store. Bring a blanket, sit out in the fresh air because it's going to be fantastic this week. Whatever you choose to do, it doesn't matter. Have fun, eat food, take pictures. Heck, don't take any pictures. Leave your camera at home. Just whatever it is, go outside, enjoy the sunshine.
That's great. So that includes our show for the week. I want to especially thank our guests, Tracy and Kelly.
Thank you, guys.
Thank
You were
you.
awesome. Thanks for taking the time to come in today and speak with us. It was a great show. Thank you all for listening. We'll be back for another great show next week. Until next time.
Thanks for listening, and goodbye.